It's time to talk about peanut butter and jelly on this next episode of Digest This.
Welcome to Digest This, the show that helps you revolutionize your digestive health. Here are your hosts, Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato.
Hello and welcome to Digest This. I am Dr. Liz Cruz and I've got the beautiful Tina Nunziato sitting right next to me. Hope you're watching us on YouTube. It's great to connect with you. If you are a first-time listener, welcome. And if you're one of our regular listeners, welcome. And thank you so much for being on this journey with us. We know everyone has hectic, busy schedules. And so we are so grateful that you take the time to hang out with us for 15, 20 minutes every week. So let's talk about peanut butter jelly. I just want to sing the peanut butter jelly song so much.
What's the peanut butter jelly song?
Peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly. I don't know. I don't remember the rest of it.
I think you're making this up.
No,
I've never
seriously, there's a
song.
peanut butter jelly song.
Okay, you're crazy.
I just don't know that I could play it because of
You need your ukulele.
copyright. Okay. All right, I'll play the ukulele one of these days. So peanut butter and jelly, that's a great topic. I mean,
So I get this news feed, okay? And mostly it's just there to entertain me during the week because some of the articles are pretty silly. But I saw this one article and I had to do a podcast on it. I forwarded it to you. I could not believe that there was a whole article written on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, okay? And there were people out there that, I guess the article was based on the Uncrustables made by Smuckers, okay? And that people were realizing that Uncrustables has a lot of chemicals in it and that it's not the healthiest. And so they went out and learned how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on their own.
Crazy.
I was like, what? What is happening in our world right now that people have to go teach themselves how to make peanut butter and jelly? But we have to talk about this because this is happening in the world today.
We do.
I thought our children knew how to make peanut butter and jelly at the age of 3. But if there's people out there that do not know how to make peanut butter and jelly, let's talk.
We are going to talk, and we even are going to do a little hands-on demonstration for you. But let's talk about the Uncrustables. So the Uncrustables has been around for a while. I don't know how long.
Decades.
I know that when we were reading on it, it talked about that in 2017 they reformulated the ingredients to get the high fructose corn syrup out of there and just replace that with sugar. So
just sugar, like every aspect of it, the bread, the peanut butter, and the jelly is just like all sugar.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's what it is. It is what it is. And these products are very, very popular. People buy these in just in droves. They buy them because it's easy, right? You just take it out of the freezer, throw it in your kid's lunchbox, and there you go. Lunch
Actually, I work with some people that have Crustables for their lunch.
Uncrustables.
Uncrustables, that have Uncrustables, and it's
So
it's a pretty popular item, I think. And
sure.
But yes, like you said, definitely makes it easy for making kids lunches, right? Just stick an Uncrustable in there. You don't have to go through the effort of making a sandwich. And the problem is, they're so unhealthy. They're so unhealthy. There's no better or nice way to say that. They have a lot of sugar. They just have a lot of ingredients that are not healthy, that are not nourishing you in any way. Okay, they're not nourishing you. And like Tina already mentioned, every part of it, from the crust to the filling, which is jelly and peanuts, is filled with sugar. Like sugar was the second ingredient for all of those.
Yeah, and a lot of people buy them, I feel like, too, because they feel like it's a good deal. Like they're like, these are cheap, right? And people are trying to feed a family, and it's expensive.
How much are they?
So the ones I found for a pack of 10, it was $9.99. So assume $1 a sandwich, right? So that was part of what the article was telling people, is that that actually you can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for far less than Uncrustables, right? It would sell. So typically if you go to the store, buy kind of a cheap peanut butter, a cheap jelly, a cheap thing of bread, you could probably make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for 50 cents.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
pretty easily. But then people were commenting in the article that, again, it's the convenience that they're buying.
Right.
Okay, but
Right.
again, convenience typically leads to unhealthy. Okay, anytime you think of convenient in any situation, it typically means we're making unhealthy choices for ourselves. So I think, the idea of taking the time to make yourself something just like ups the game with regard to the level of nutrition
Absolutely.
you're giving yourself, right? So I don't know, we just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit and
Yeah.
talk about what we do to make our peanut butter and jellies for our kids, because
Yes.
we do use like the best ingredients that we could find with like no fillers, no added sugar, no just the healthiest options. And even that, like buying the healthiest bread, the healthiest peanut butter, the healthiest jelly, it comes out to $1.20 a sandwich. So it actually is pretty cheap still
Yeah.
to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And
Yeah.
and I would say when you and I are making sandwiches, I mean, we've got 2 kids now that we're still making lunches for.
Right.
The sandwiches themselves maybe take a minute and a half.
Yeah.
To
I mean,
make. We
quickly,
wait longer for the bread to toast.
Right. Right.
Than we do to actually make the
Yeah,
sandwich.
I mean, it's so quick. It really is. I mean, does it take effort? Of course. Okay, and so like Tina already mentioned, I mean, yes, it's that effort, because getting something like the Uncrustables, it's so easy. It's, pull it out of the freezer, stick it into the lunchbox, and you're done. So yes, it takes effort, but again, like she said, that effort, okay, if you take the time to make something that with healthier ingredients is going to be worth the investment of the time that you put into it, okay? And you have to be intentional. So yes, Tina and I are making sandwiches every week, every night. We pretty much, we have like a little system set up, and Tina made like this little Excel spreadsheet with all the lunches we're having every single day for the kids, or what we're preparing them. It's actually pretty cool. And so let's
you
talk.
got to keep it fresh. Right?
You
I mean,
do.
You don't want to
You
give them
do.
the same thing every day.
Of course not. Of course not.
Right.
But that's not even the point. The point is her Excel spreadsheet.
Right, of
That's
course.
the point.
It's all about the Excel spreadsheet. Let's be clear.
Yes, let's be clear. Okay, so when we first started on our wellness journey, we were using a lot of nut butters. Okay, we actually diverted away from the peanut butter we were buying, and I don't remember what we were buying. I mean, maybe we were buying, who knows, Peter Pan or Jiffy.
We were buying Jiffy, I
We were
think.
buying Jiffy. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you look at those peanut butters, they do have sugar in them. Okay, just
Added sugar.
Added sugar. So look at the ingredients on those jars, on those bottles of peanut butter. So we started using more of the other nut butters like sunflower seed, almond butter. We started using a lot of that. And
Can I interject really quick?
Yes, please.
So the Jiffy also has a lot of other chemicals in it too. But the other reason why we shifted from peanut butter to nut butters and sunflower butter is because one thing we learned about peanuts is that they grow in the ground. Okay.
Right.
Whereas other nuts and seeds grow on trees. And the nuts that are grown in the ground, peanuts, end up getting a lot of bacteria around them. Okay. And so they're definitely not as healthy as other nut butters. Okay. So we did switch and we were doing all these other nut butters.
Right.
But again, we've kind of slowly come back to peanut butter, especially with the kids. Like you and I will still do sunflower butter, almond butter, stuff
Sure,
like that regularly.
sure.
But the kids really, really like peanut butter. And so we have gone back to doing peanut butter, but we had to find a much cleaner peanut butter than what was out there in kind of the typical grocery stores. And actually, Costco actually sells a really nice organic peanut butter that's pretty reasonably priced.
Yep.
So, and it comes in two of these jars. It's like, I think $10 to $12 for 2 jars. So it's like $5 a jar.
Organic, and the peanuts are organic, dry roasted peanuts, and then it uses sea salt. Sea salt is used to make this. There is no added sugar to this.
Right.
There's no added sugar. And what Tina was saying about the peanuts, so yeah, the bacteria, the microorganisms, molds, very common with peanuts. So you do have to be really careful and just be aware. You just have to be aware of it. But yeah, Tina found this at Costco. And so we've been using this now for several years.
Yeah.
And it's actually really good. In fact, it's so good, and you get used to the taste of it without there being added sugar, that sometimes, like at some of the surgical centers where I go to, and even the hospital, they have like these little packets of peanut butter just so that you can get a quick, have something that you can do like a quick protein boost. And when I have had those, they don't taste the same because of all the sugar. Like they taste really sweet. Mm-hmm. They taste really sweet. So you really do get used to a peanut butter that doesn't have added sugar, and it's so good. Mm-hmm. It is so good. It's not anything that's like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I want to try that. It is actually very good. Mm-hmm. And I would venture to guess that they sell a lot of this peanut butter.
They probably do, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So the next thing is the jelly. So
yes.
We looked at a lot of jellies. I'll tell you, most jellies have a lot of added sugar in them. This is the one jelly from Saint Delphore that does not add any additional sugars, and it is just pure fruit. So again, this is a little more expensive than the typical jelly. It's a smaller jar, so you're not going to get as far with this in terms of the number of sandwiches you're going to make. But this jar is about $6 or $7. We probably get about 20 sandwiches out of this jar. So this is about 30 cents a sandwich, right, to use this
And the peanut
jelly.
butter, how many sandwiches do you think we get from that?
We get about 50 sandwiches out of this, and it's about $5. You figure 10 cents per sandwich on the peanut butter. So now we're up to 40 cents.
Okay. And I do want to say, like when we travel, sometimes we'll travel somewhere and we'll stay at an Airbnb, and we'll go and get some groceries. And it is really hard to find like a jelly or even a peanut butter that doesn't have added sugar. Like it's crazy because, since we're on vacation, we have nothing but time. So we're looking at all the different jars because we want to get like a jar of jelly or jam. There are so many additives and sugar. So it is amazing what they put in
and
these.
I have seen this jelly now. I mean, of course, it's at places like Sprouts and Whole Foods, but they also started carrying it in our regular grocery stores.
That's
too.
awesome.
It is there. So
Yeah,
I have
that's
seen
great.
That jelly. Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, the bread.
Yes, our Ezekiel bread, which we've talked about before on these podcasts. This is the living grain sprouted bread. You have to keep it in the fridge because it's living grain, and so you have to toast it. And so that's what I was talking about earlier with regard to it takes longer to toast the bread than it does to actually make the sandwich. But really, really good for you bread, okay? And this bread, it is expensive. It's like $8 a loaf, okay? So that's probably the most expensive thing out of all of this because you get 10 sandwiches out of this loaf, so it's about 80 cents per sandwich. So you figure everything all together, it's about $1.20, to make
Not bad.
a sandwich for
Yeah,
us,
not bad.
as opposed to $1 for the Uncrustables. And I do feel like the couple minute time effort that we put into it, the money that we put into it is definitely helping our kids be healthier.
Absolutely.
They're healthy kids. They don't have medical issues. We're not in doctor's offices. There's all that stuff adds up. Whatever medicine you have your kid on because they're not well, it's coming from our food supply. Okay.
Yes.
So please think about what you're letting your kids eat, what you're letting your kids drink, because their health is in direct correlation of what they're putting in their body every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lots of, a lot of chemicals out there, a lot of chemicals, and you're not going to see it listed as such. You're not going to see, you're not going to see the word chemical, but dyes, flavorings, artificial flavorings, preservatives, artificial sugars, okay? All of these things. I mean, these are all chemicals, and you may think, well, my kids are young, they're healthy and their body can flush this stuff out. Look, it's going to catch up with them. It will catch up with them. I mean, we are seeing patients in their young 20s, 18, starting at age 18. We are seeing a ton of young people who have not been eating the best pretty much all their life, and and they're having issues. they're having symptoms. And so very important to be very intentional. And yes, even at a young age, start feeding our children healthy. All right, healthy, no chemicals. So if you want to get more information, if you want to connect with us, you can find us on our website at drlizcruz.com. There's a magenta color button on the homepage that you can click and schedule a free 30-minute wellness consult. And you could do this for anyone. You could do this for yourself. You could do this if you have a child that you want to get counseled. Obviously we would want you there on the phone call, but this is done from anywhere in the world. It's done over the phone and it is free. It's our gift to you. If you have not rated us, please rate us and please give us a 5. It'll help other people just like you to find us faster. And lastly, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe so that you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you on the next podcast.
Thank you for joining Dr. Liz Cruz and Tina Nunziato. To learn more about their revolutionary products and services, go online to www.drlizcruz.com.